So good morning and good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to the Keyloop Service Docs webinar, and welcome back to those of you who joined yesterday's Sales Docs session. This webinar this afternoon is going to be recorded, and we'll send you a copy by the end of the afternoon. Please feel free to ask any questions as we go using the Q&A button on the bottom of the screen. We may not have all the answers for you today, and if we can't answer them, we'll come back to you after the webinar. So just on that, if you do ask your question anonymously and we run out of time at the end, obviously I won't be able to reply back to you because I won't know who you are. So if you could ask your questions, let me know who you are, then we can obviously respond back to you personally afterwards. We're also going to run a couple of polls during the webinar, if you wouldn't mind taking a minute or so just to answer those. And if you're watching this webinar on demand, our contact details are at the end of the presentation, and we'll come back to you if we didn't cover everything for you today. So let me just introduce the team. So we've got Keith Drew, part of our regional pre-sales team. We've got Lawrence, who's our document specialist, and myself, James Rhodes, the sales director for Middle East and North Africa. So during the next 60 minutes, Lawrence will cover off what is Service Docs and the key benefits. We'll then hand over to Keith, who will give us a demonstration of Service Docs. And then finally, the three of us will take questions at the end. And due to the large number of attendees, they will only take questions via the Q&A button. And with that, I'll hand over to Lawrence.
Thank you, James. Good morning. Just before I go through some of the key benefits, I'm just going to run a quick poll. So you'll see something pop on your screen very shortly. So what are your biggest challenges with your current digital document solution? You don't have one. There is a lack of integration with the current DMS. It doesn't innovate or support your current internal processes. Is it the cost? Or alternatively, is it difficult to use? Please fire away now. So thank you. Quite a mixed bag. So quite a lot of people don't have one. Or alternatively, there's a lack of integration with the current DMS. Hopefully, from that side of things, we will be able to answer some of your questions or some of your queries as we go through the demonstration. And to James's point, when we get to the end, we will have some time for a Q&A session. Further to that as well, for anybody who would like to see more of Keyloop Docs, whether that be sales or service, for the people that were present yesterday, we can by all means organise an extended tailored demonstration. So what is Service Docs? So Service Docs was developed specifically for the industry and specifically for the after-sales environment. It's there to maximise efficiency, maximise productivity. Essentially, it's there to keep your technicians at your ramp and to ensure that you're compliant with warranty processes, to ensure that you're processing your warranty claims in a timely manner from that point of view. So I'm going to go through some of the key benefits before passing over to Keith. Essentially, when we configure the solution, we do not offer a one-size-fits-all. I think that would be absolutely the wrong thing to do. What we do is we look at your current processes and we configure the solution based upon how you operate. And we completely understand that you may have a different process for different OEMs that you're responsible for from that side of things. So rest assured, we spend quite a lot of time working with you to configure the solution. There's a huge time saving by using Service Docs for the customers that are currently using it. They are saving somewhere between 3 to 10 minutes per job. That may not sound like a lot, but when you've got a significant amount of jobs, that's huge from that point of view. And it certainly adds up from that. And then further to that as well, there's an opportunity to increase your warranty approval rates because you don't need to chase up missing documents and signatures. And also because we configure the workflows based upon how you operate today. That ensures that you've got all of the documents in one place. The system allows you to take and capture images, or alternatively capture videos. So from that point of view, you've got absolutely everything that you need in one place, and then you can process the claims in an efficient and timely manner. There's a huge opportunity to save on costs. So by removing the paper, print, storage, retrieval, and also destroying of your confidential information. I think there's probably more paperwork involved in after sales than what there is from sales from that side of things. I spent some time in the Middle East recently, and some of the service packs were absolutely huge. So from that point of view, taking that from paper, transitioning that to digital, it'll be huge. I think there's an opportunity to deliver better service to consumers. We ran a study recently of over 600 participants across multiple different markets. And actually 3 in 5 consumers said that they want to view and sign for their documentation online. We haven't run that for the Middle East yet, but we will certainly run a bespoke thing for the Middle East just to see exactly what the feedback is from that point of view. But I think, you know, if we asked that question 2 years ago, a lot of consumers would have given a different answer from that point of view. And then finally, there's an opportunity to maximize your service team time. If you look at the journey of a job card, certainly the time that I spent in the Middle East, you know, we visited some sites that have document jockeys from that side of things. So the fact of having that online journey of a job card and going through a smooth process, of a digital smooth process, is huge. And it's about giving your service team members the time back to spend more time with the consumers, really, to ensure that they receive a better service. Is there an opportunity to upsell any service-related products from that point of view? So I'm going to pass over to Keith. Keith will go through the demonstration. And like I mentioned, if you've got any questions or queries, then please put in the Q&A button. Keith, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Lawrence, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm just quickly going to share the screen now. So you'll see now that basically we've got a diagram that's going to show how service docs functions, how documents gets attached to the service docs file, and indeed the various different ways of uploading documents. Now, what we'd be looking for initially, and as many of the documents that you produce, we'd like to automatically attach themselves to the relevant service file with minimum intervention from your service advisors or technicians. We'd like most of it to be done automatically. But the file pack first is created, again with no intervention, when a point of sale booking is taken and the WIP is created, either via point of sale or via call manager. We have a process that runs at intervals, and it will pick up all the information from the point of sale booking, and it will automatically create the service docs file for that WIP, for that booking. At the point it creates that, we've got some unique reference on those documents, so the WIP number, the vehicle VIN number, customer's name, registration number. So moving forward then, as we produce documents, for instance, the job card, when we produce a job card, it will automatically upload itself to the service doc system. But not only that, it will automatically attach itself to the correct service file in the correct section of that service file. We have the ability to upload PDFs. So you might have documents that aren't mapped or PDFs stored on a separate drive or the PC. We can actually choose the upload option from within the service docs file, or we can drag and drop. We also have some electronic forms, the ability to create electronic forms that only exist within the service doc systems. And these could be completed maybe by the workshop control or technician. And I'll show you that. The one we've got today is a warranty authorization form. It is just an example document, and I'll show you how we create that. Also, and really useful, we have an option called Webcam Plus. So if you're running off a smartphone or a tablet, because it's web-based, we can automatically keep it connected, and you could take a photograph. It could be a driving license or insurance document. Using the Webcam Plus, we can photograph that document and it will automatically upload to the correct file. Also, it never stores that information locally. It uploads it directly to the file. So if I now move on to my service docs in the live system. So we do have integration with point of sale, which makes life a lot easier. So from a blank point of sale screen, if I'm a service advisor and I want to look at some file packs, or I want to interrogate a previous file pack, I can launch service docs from within point of sale. So I'll just literally select it and it will launch it straight away in the overview screen. So this is a dashboard screen, and in there we can see all documents at their various status and by the amount they are. So this is what we call workflow initially. And in our system, it starts off as an appointment. So when the booking's been made in point of sale, it automatically creates a file pack within service docs and it creates an appointment status. And we can see that in appointment status, I've got 3. And if I wanted to look, I can see the 3 packs I've got. And then we have trigger documents, and this is just an example. All of this is completely user definable to meet your processes. So our trigger document will move the pack automatically to be on site when the job card is produced and signed by the customer, and then moving through the whole process, as I'll show you, awaiting costing, fully invoiced and complete, but it will not move on to the next status until the appropriate criteria has been met. So that's launching the initial dashboard. This can be launched directly from a web browser as well. But if I want to, if I'm in the WIP and I load the booking, and this is where it becomes useful for maybe pre-picking or the 72-hour in advance, checking everything's right for the job card. So directly from within the WIP, if I select the launch option, it will launch it, the service doc system, but it will actually launch it in the file pack for that WIP. So we can see straight away here, this is the WIP I'm interested in today. It's brought the information, it's brought the customer's email and phone number, all the information we require. And actually, if I look at the status now, the workflow is appointment. To move it on to on site, it needs a repair order to be signed and uploaded. So if I just cancel that a second, but even before the customer arrives on site, the vehicle arrives, we can have some manual tasks created. So this is great. So for instance, you could have parts advisors entering directly via the WIP and just confirming that they've checked that all the required parts have been ordered. And it's just a tick list. Once that's done, every action is written to the audit trail, to the history, so we can see who and what time the work was carried out. So that's how we can use it before the vehicle even comes in. So at the moment, it's at appointment status. And I'm just going to go into the file pack and we can see that there's my appointment and there's a job at appointment status. So to move on, we need to produce the job card. So I'm literally just going to produce a job card from within the WIP. This could be either via printing from within the WIP, or indeed if you use our mobile service advisor from the tablet. And I'm literally just going to produce my job card. And at this point, you do not have to have a paper copy of the job card if it's not required, because it automatically uploads a copy directly to the service docs file. So if I move up to it now, and I open that job pack, I can see that the status has changed to on-site from the workflow. It's automatically changed because we produced the job card, but I can also see that that repair order needs a signature. Now, if you're using a tablet or maybe a signature pad on your PC, you can get that document signed within your service reception. Or using Share Docs, we can send a hyperlink to the customer either via SMS or email, or indeed both, and request a signature. So if I look at the customer's signature and I select required, from this point, we get a full view of the job card, which will be identical to any printed copy you have because it retains the same formatting. And if the customer is with you, we can ask the customer to sign on your device. Or if they're remote, and it could be, you might even want to send this out the day before or before the customer arrives, we can send it for Share Docs with the customer. All users have their own PIN number, and we're going to select sign the document. And I can see here it's marked as ready for Share Docs. So using Share Docs, we can either send one or we can send multiple documents to the customers to sign. We can also ask the customer to upload a document. So it could be you want the customer to upload a driving license, or you might want them to upload an insurance certificate, but you can also ask them to sign. So I'm going to ask the customer to sign for the Share Docs, and I'm just going to ask them to upload their driving license. And these are just example documents. This could be any documents that you require. So we can see I've marked the two I want, and I'm going to send them to the customer, ready to sign. And that will then send me an email at this point. So just while I'm waiting for the email to come through, I'll just show you a couple of other items. But within this file pack, we can send notes to other users. And by sending notes, it will actually send an email to a member of your team with a direct hyperlink to that file pack. They're really useful, trying to keep people at the desk not moving around, and the user will obviously receive that. So if I now quickly open it up, I'm just going to give that a couple of seconds to come through on the email. So I can see on my emails now, we can see that there's two emails here. Now I'm playing the customer, I'm playing service advisor, I'm playing technician. So I am going to get all emails, and I will be in and out of this pack quite a lot. But we can see here, the bottom one is it's emailed a member of your team. to tell them the email has been delivered. Now, this is not mandatory, it's optional. We can switch these on and off, but any action that happens within the file pack, we can set it to automatically notify a member of your team. But I can also see as a customer, I've received a shared docs invitation. So within here, there's no particular branding here, it's demo. This would have all of your branding in with HTML, but it's just asking the customer to process the documents, the driving license and the repair order, and they would just follow the link. So this obviously could be by SMS or via email. And we can see here, it's asking now the customer just to verify. It's using a two-stage verification purely because there's customer sensitive information on the email, and we want them to confirm it is actually them receiving this email and asking for the PIN number. We can see that there, and obviously we could do it by PIN number, and I'm going to send it to get that PIN now. Now, the great thing about this, at the same time the customer request that PIN number, if I show you the history of the file pack, one of the more important options is we can actually see that when we sent that email request to the customer, so we know we sent the email, we know who we sent it to, but I can actually see it writes the history of that file pack when that customer's requested the PIN number. So again, it's all tied up, it's all auditable at any time. If I now quickly go back to my point of sale, and I can see we've got the PIN number. So the customer's received the PIN, and we'll just quickly copy that and paste that in and shut the email down and put the PIN in. And we can see there that the customer's got a request to sign a document and upload a document. We'll also see that this customer's made several visits in the last couple of days, and these will be stored for up to 30 days in their history, so they can always go back and review what they've done before. And now I can see I want to upload a driving license copy. So if I go back to, sorry, I'm just picking a document from the customer's file packs. I've got a driving license, the customer's uploading it. This could be any document you want. And we also want them to sign the repair order, the job card. So the customer will then select the option, and again, they'll see an identical copy of your normal job card with all the information on. They can look at it, they can make sure they're happy with it, and they can sign it. Once they've signed it, it will carry out two operations. It will email the customer, automatically email the customer a copy of their signed job card, and it will also update the service docs pack. So that's shared docs. So using shared docs, we can request a signature. We can ask the customer to either upload a document or download a document. So it might be you want them to download a copy of their service plan that you're sending them. It's all available. So I'm just going to refresh this very quickly. And we can see in that screen now that the repair order has been signed. So it's updated the file pack. If I want to view that, I can view it. But also, we've got this document set that it requires approval. Now, this could be that for a warranty job pack, you require approval for the job cards, and a retail you don't. This can all be set up as we go through. So I'm now going to view that very quickly. And if I'm happy with it, I can see that. I can see the customer's signature. It's all signed. And you'll see that this is revision 2. All documents are revision controlled. And the idea of that is it may be that throughout the day while the customer's vehicle's in, you find extra work. If you reproduce the job card, you can then send the second copy to the customer for a signature using shared docs, and that would be revision 3. But I'm happy with this, so I'm going to approve it, and I'm going to close that down now. So we can see here it's signed. I can see the driving license that I uploaded as well. But all the documents are there, and it's actually on site now. So looking at our workflow, our process, what it's waiting for now, it's waiting for a copy of the vehicle health check to be uploaded, and it's waiting for a copy of the technician's clockings to be uploaded. So we set documents that are mandatory. You can choose which documents you require, different headings, different sections, and how they trigger the system. So the first thing I'm going to very quickly just going to clock my technician onto that job just so I can get some clockings. This is using, excuse me, I logged into this a bit earlier. Okay, so if I now log in again, I'm just going to go to log onto that system and log the technician in. I'll apologize about that. Okay, so the technician's clocked on the job. We're getting some clockings. What I can do now is literally show you how we can upload the clockings report to the system. So the first thing I do is go back into the whip, and I produced a vehicle health check earlier in the day, just to save a little bit of time on the demonstration. So I'm actually going to print my vehicle health check. So there's my vehicle health check, and I'm going to print the health check out for the system. So that's produced a health check. That's all I've done, and that will automatically then append itself to the correct file pack. If I then come through to here, I want to print my clockings. So I'm just going to go and print my clocking report. So on Autoline Drive, we do call this the technician's write-up. If it's revision 8, it's the technician's clocking. But either way, we can move the clockings and we can upload it directly to the service deal pile. So if I come in here and I just type my whip number, once I've put that in, I'm just going to output it directly to the service file pack. So straight away, we can see that everything's been uploaded, and it will update the file pack. If I quickly just refresh this now. So I can see in here now my status has moved from in workshop, and it's now on site, and it's now moved to awaiting costing. And it's moved to awaiting costing because we've satisfied some criteria. We've uploaded the technician's clocking report. So if I open that now and view it, I can see the technician's clocking by line with the technician's write-up on it. And again, this document is set for requiring approval. It won't let me continue until we approve this document. And this could be that you set this up for warranty pack. So I'm going to approve the document and close it down. And we can see straight away now that the technician's clocking report is approved. We're happy with that. And if I look at the EVHC, it's there, and I can see that that's been uploaded. I can view it. But as you can see, as we're going through, as we're fulfilling all the criteria, it's moving the service pack on. So you should be confident that should you ever need to interrogate this pack in the future, all of your documents should be there and they should all be signed correctly. And we can see here that we've asked for the EVHC requiring a customer signature. And again, we could send this via share docs, or indeed we can actually ask the customer to sign where they're on site. So in here, I can view it. If I'm happy with it, I can close it. If I want the signature, I can ask the customer to sign it. So we could send it via share docs, or I can get a customer signature. So in this example, the customer's at service reception, and we're going to ask them to sign the document either on a tablet or indeed via a signature pad, and sign that document. And you can see now that that has actually changed to tick. So what we're looking for is green ticks all the way through, and we are waiting for a retail invoice. So if I look at the top, waiting costing, it's going to want a retail invoice before it goes to fully invoiced and complete. However, in the meantime, I'll show you an example of an electronic document. In this example, we've created a warranty repair authorization. Now, this could be a service advisor, it could be a workshop controller, it could be technician completing it. If I select the web form, I can send an alert to another member of the team to say it's being completed. So it could be a service advisor completing it and want the warranty controller to look at it. And I'm going to add that form. So this is the 3 C's. What's the customer's complaint? What's their issue? So I'm just going to call it a misfire and select next. What was the cause of the misfire? Well, obviously the technician is going to select number 4. So at this point, at any point, once we get through to the next screen, we can actually save this. So it could just be that it's a controller stating what they found wrong, and they want to alert a warranty manager, for instance, before they continue. And if I go to next, at this point, I can put the packs that's required and how many. So we could even use this at this point to request the parts to make sure that they've had the parts back from a warranty job. So they could tick to say they've had them, yes or no. And if I go to save work, at this point, I could just save it without a signature. So I could save it, then another member of the team could come back in and authorize it. And then once it's been authorized, they can enter their role. And obviously it self-populates a date. They would sign and they confirm that they're happy that the fault as reported by the technician here is warrantable, and they're going to enter their PIN number. So they would then save that. Now, once that's been created, we can see in here that there's my warranty repair authorization. I can see I've authorized it myself, so it's all green. And if I want to view it now, it's all there waiting for the any audit you may receive. So as we go through, we can actually put more checklists as well. So somebody can come through and just check it. These are manual. You don't have to have them, but they're totally manual. And the good point about this, again, is if I look at the history, everything I do gets audited. So at any time you can go back in and see who carried out that operation and what date and time. And as we go through, all the way through, you can see when it's been done. And we can see when the repair order was signed by the customer as well. So all that information is there. So what we're waiting for now really is going to be the, we're waiting for the retail invoice. So I'm very quickly just going to produce the invoice and just say this will require no real further intervention than just producing an invoice copy. And if you then don't want any paper copies, you could use share docs to send the invoice to the customer to sign and to keep a copy for their record. So it's really easy, straightforward. It's a huge step to becoming paperless in your service department. So if I go back into it, I'm now just going to complete this and invoice it. And produce the invoice. So literally just to finish that pack, just to show you, I'm going to go all the way through and complete it. That's the invoice completed. So that's that job absolutely fully completed within Autoline. If you are taking payments or you've got a cashier taking payments, if any documents are produced, it will work exactly the same. So if a cashier is taking payments and they mark it as paid and produce the invoice, it will upload the document that will clearly state it's been paid onto the service docs file. And if I now quickly go back into that file, so I'm going to go back in via the whip this time. If I wanted to look at it directly from the whip, I can open it up. And I can see at that point, it's moved to fully invoiced and complete. But at this stage, I can see I've got one document missing. And this is a manual document. This is a document that we've set that we can manually upload. And you can see the benefit of this pack. So just looking at it, you can see one auditable document that we haven't got. It's really clear. It's in your face. You're not going to miss it. So I'm going to show you how we'd upload that one manually. So I'm just going to upload a PDF manually from the file pack. And upload it. So I've just chosen one. Like I say, we could have dragged and dropped, or if I was on a tablet or a phone, I could indeed have taken photographs. So all the way through, we can go and check. And when we're totally happy that everything's been covered, then we can mark it off. And just by looking at this file pack, then you would know that should it ever come to the fact that you get an audit or there's an issue with a customer or any reason you need to go back and look at that file pack, all the information that you require is there because it's all ticked, everything's green, everything's checked off. So that's really straightforward. So I suppose the next question is, how easy is it to find a document? So I know certainly when I was in the motor trade, I had piles of document storage boxes above my parts department, and you were looking at dates and searching through boxes. Using the service doc system, just by launching the system at any time, and bear in mind this could be done remotely. If you're at head office, maybe you're a warranty manager and you need to find some documents, you don't have to go searching through various sites. Very quickly, very easily, I can come in and I can search for a file pack. So if I quickly just search the pack, So the retention of this pack would be set up in discussion to yourself and what your region's legal requirements are for keeping documents. And obviously they'll stay there for the whole time. It is worth noting that if there are any GDPR or any customer compliant documents, we can set them to hard delete automatically after a period of time as well. So if I pop through and search, what I get then, I literally get a list of all document packs for every visit that that vehicle has made to your service department. So just by searching, I can see the dates, I can see the file pack owner, and indeed, if I want to, I can actually see what the vehicle was in for at that time. So if I just highlight the eye, I can see it was in for the health check. If I then want to view that pack, I can double left click and open up. I can look at the history. And bear in mind, this could have been 3 or 4 years ago this document was created. And indeed, I can view any document in there. So if I want to go back to my file pack, if I want to make sure that my repair order has been created properly, I can open it up. And if I select it, I can view it. I can view the document. I can make sure I'm happy with everything there. Everything's in place and the file pack's there, which is so much easier than trying to search paper files. And of course, it can be done centrally. So, Lawrence, I think I'm going to hand over to you now, if that's okay.
Fantastic. Thank you, Keith. I really appreciate that. So, guys, everyone, sorry, apologies. Just before I go into the Q&A, so I'm going to give you some time just to send your questions in now. We're just going to run a quick poll. I appreciate that was a little bit of a whistle-stop tour.
Yeah.
But as I said previously, if you want to organise an extended demonstration, either contact the email at the end, or alternatively, what you can do is contact your account manager. But the question is, would you be interested in getting more information or alternatively seeing more information about service docs?